Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your man Hanley from On the Line With. We're on episode 60 of Car Chats on the road to 100. We got B the Wiz coming on. He's going to let him know where he's from. He's going to tell you a little bit more about himself. He said we might have his producer hop in as well, so look forward to that. Like I said, episode 60, B the Wiz about to hop in. And from there, yeah, we'll get it popping. There we go. Yo, I can't hear you.
All right, check 1, 2. We good now?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Sorry about that, man. I was connected to the Wi-Fi and I'm out front here, so it's literally like my phone was struggling for internet. So I appreciate you having me out, man. I appreciate everyone coming and tuning in. Shout out to Joseph Bouchard there. Shout out to the
Fuck. I don't know if this is gonna work, y'all. I hope it does.
Yo, bro, I'm so sorry, man. Okay, so my phone, when I'm like swiping up to see the comments like before and the people joining and stuff, if I swipe to the left or the right even slightly, it throws me out. So yeah, so I'm gonna stop touching it, and thank you to everybody commenting and shit. If I don't say your name and shit, shout out Sheldon, shout out everybody. Much love, y'all, and thank you, Hanley, for having me on tonight, man.
Yeah, man. No. So everybody that's not following me, if you're not following me, my name's Hanley. I do interviews with upcoming artists. I do interviews with some bigger names as well on my actual podcast. But if you're not following me, give me a follow. If you're an artist or you just want a fan of interviews and podcasts, give me a follow. If you're not following B the Wiz, make sure you give him a follow. He's dope. I don't know. It's hard to put in more words than just saying he's dope. I'm going to let you do the talking for us. Oh, he froze. Did we lose him again? Bruh. A little bit of some difficulties today, guys. It's all good.
Yo, my God, my apologies here. I don't know what's going on here. It literally just came up and it was like, thank you for joining the live. And I was like, what? We ain't done yet?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Back. So we're gonna get into it before we get some more fucking delays. So let everybody know who you are, where you're from, what you're aiming for this year. Anything you want to speak on first, bro?
Fuck yeah, man. So first of all, my name is B the Wiz. Shout out to Hanley for having me out. If you're following me, go follow him. He's a dope guy. He does interviews with artists and he's super supportive. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Jeb the Don Carlito. We just finished up in Kenora. And when we were in Kenora there, we had about like 230 strong in Shooter's Tavern. And it was fucking fire, man. It was even the night after St. Paddy's Day too, so everybody was hungover, but people still showed out, man. People were cheering, people were dancing. It was a fucking blast.
Yeah, man. People should be supporting their local artists, man. Man, not again.
Car chats? You cool with me going inside and getting my fucking Wi-Fi here?
Yeah, bro. You have to.
I'm sitting here in my truck and I keep getting disconnected. I'm like, man, this is tough. Yeah, no. So for my next year, what I'm actually planning on and what I'm looking for right now is I want to start doing performances out of Thunder Bay. I've been performing for 10 years now. I started when I was like I've been making music for 10 years. I've been performing for 8 years. And since I started, I've got like over 95 shows under my belt. And like, I'm super grateful for all those opportunities. I've performed for nobody. Like, I've performed for bar staff, and I've performed for over like 350 people and stuff like that. I've gotten the chance to do festivals this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Mama Way Summer Festival. Shout out to like the Live at the Waterfront Festival. Shout out to everyone who's put me on, because like,
All right, bro. Run into your house and hit me back with another request. I'll keep the audience here just listening while you go do that. So yeah, like you were saying, everybody that's not following me already, I'm a past hip hop artist who got into the podcast game just 2 years ago. This past March, I run a podcast based on hip hop. It also focuses on mental health and mental illness. I do these on Instagram. They're called car chats. They're just regular chats you'd have with people that, like when you're driving with a homie or something, and then you're chatting with them and you're just talking about anything and everything. So that's what car chats is basically about. We talk about the music. We talk about everything and anything. Here we go. We're back.
you're fucking.
Candace,
Thank you for being patient, man. I appreciate the fuck out of this, and thank you for everybody for being patient.
and if I didn't smoke as much weed as I did, I think you might be in trouble.
Oh, bro, I know, bro. Like, so like, I roll blunts, and like, when I roll blunts, people like look at them, and they're like, "Man, those look like fucking gorilla fingers." And it's funny because I'll be sitting on the patios, like when I'm on trips and stuff like that, and I'll smoke like a whole one to myself, and like my bosses and my coworkers and stuff like that, they're just like, man, like if you smoke with Wiz, like you're smoking, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like they'll take one hit and then like, well, some may, you know what I mean, in the past and stuff like that. When they do, then fucking yeah, like I've had them quit out real quick, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? It's just my tolerance is up, and like, yeah.
I'm assuming Ducktail Beats is the producer.
That's my boy, yeah. So I've actually got two producers that I work with. Sorry?
I said ding, 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 1 point me.
Yeah. So my two producers that I work with right now are Ducktail Beats, and then I work with Jaw the Prophet. And so Jaw I met up with about 1.5 years ago. He reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, I want to be your producer, and I really want to work with you, and I want to produce beats for you, and I also want to mix and master your lyrics." So Jaw's been like an incredible like source of support for me. And Ducktail Beats was actually the first, when I hosted my first show, Ducktail Beats was the producer who put me on, I met him there. He was the DJ. He's a scratch DJ. And he's been doing this for a long time. He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of game. And like, he's been doing this longer than I have. So like, I'm just very appreciative of having like both him and Jaw around, because like, yeah, both those guys are just like super skilled at what they do.
Definitely. And it's good to have always in-house producers so you're not lacking on beats.
Facts. I actually just got reached out to by this guy, and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "I'm a producer out of Poland." And I was like, "Man," like, I was like, "Okay, like, what are we doing here?"
Europe always got like, hot beats, man.
Yeah. And so like, he sent me a bunch of like, he basically reached out. He's like, "Hey man, like things are a little like chaotic here right now, and like I'm kind of moving around a lot, but I wanted to send you like a beat pack." And I was like, "Man, like fuck yeah, bro." So he's like, "It's a little bit different and stuff like that." And I was sitting in the Kenora hotel room with Oros 807. Shout out Oros for bringing me out to Kenora as well. And so we went to we were sitting there and we were listening to and we were just listening to these beats, and we put 4 beats on, and each beat, me and fucking Oros were just sitting there just rapping, and it's just like, all right, like this one hits, this one hits, yeah. This one hits. And I'm like, man, like, I'm like, okay, like, I'm super happy that this guy reached out to me and offered me to work with him and stuff like that. I'm like, cause yeah, man, like that's like, there's a level of hustle in hip hop that's needed to get ahead in the game. And it's not just like cold spamming someone your links or whatever. It's about like building relationships, building a repertoire, and like communicating and having that respect. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So, with that being said, are you using those beats towards a new project?
So recently, so as of lately, what I've been preparing is I have a song released with ZZZ called Love Too Easy. And that one's just about like basically weird. Like I showed her the verse and I was like, listen, I got a song that I like talk about some real stuff that I'm like that I feel and like I want to know if you'd be willing to complement this track with your vocals and sing a lot, like sing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
do you find your message on it? And so she listened to it and she's like, yeah, I would love to. And I was like, awesome. So I sent her that and then she recorded over it. She's like, tell me what you think. And I loved it. And I've shown it to a couple of people and they're like, man, that's like fire. And I'm like, man, right? So the emotions and the vibes that are elicited in that song, I'm just super excited for that one to drop. And then after that drops, I've got Humility Over Everything, which is a 5-song EP. And the big thing about it is like, there's a lot of rappers who look at being hype and they're like, yeah, you got to be the hypest. You know what I mean? Like, who's the hypest rapper and stuff like that. And I'm like, respect. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. People want to be hype and stuff like that because it brings that energy. It like raises that, like, you know what I mean? Like the tempo goes up, people start dancing more and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I've also seen old heads command a room. You know what I mean? Just through their
Uh,
presence alone.
I saw Jizza do it on stage on Saturday, bro. He had the whole fucking room like locked in. It was like a matrix.
Yeah, right. And that's what I mean is like, that's what I see often. And I'm like, man, like, I look at it like there's so many different levels to hip hop and stuff like that and aspects that like people learn. And it's like, it's beautiful to me because like for me, it started out as like a coping tool for like dealing with mental health and stuff like that. Cause I dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression growing up. So it was like, having an outlet where I could just write down what I was going through, write down what I feel, and like having it like, you know what I mean, like take on rhythmic form and shit like that. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then like finding instrumentals, working with instrumentals, like I still remember like I always used to listen to like Army of the Pharaohs and stuff like that. When I first started, I was like following Sea Lance and I like grabbed a couple Sea Lance beats off of them because I was like, man, like it was like a huge thing to me. And it's like I love it because there's so much life within the culture like of like just being a hip hop artist and supporting
Yeah.
like what I mean, whether it be Canadian or American hip hop. And it's like
That's
it
one
really
thing I think people should stop saying is American and Canadian hip hop because
it's
hip
just
hop
hip
is,
hop. But yeah.
you know, we get subgenred almost, and it's like we have guys that are fucking like twice as better as some of these dudes, like you know, like tenfold almost, like. But it's it's not like hip hop is about competition, regardless of who wants to be in it or not. Whether you make songs just for the women, there's gonna be another person who does that that's gonna compete with you. So regardless, like I know what you mean, but like the whole subcategorizing of like Canadian and American hip hop, like no one ever says like London hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, well that's dude, UK drill, right?
Yeah,
That's a that's a that's a fucking thing, you know?
how they have to add their name like Chicago drill and New York drill. Like
Facts, you
no,
know what I mean? Because each different area has their own style and
yeah,
stuff. And
yeah, but
I love that, man. And so you're totally right, man, because like, yeah, like one thing I've realized is like even like Thunder Bay artists as well, like there's so much variety amongst everybody because everybody listens to somebody different
yeah,
and like they're influenced by who they listen to and their styles and their flows can take on different aspects because of like what they resonate with, which I think is beautiful, man.
absolutely. And what your most recent project that you dropped was called what?
So, okay. I haven't had my most recent official drop, I think, was I think Retribution on YouTube. And that was a music video from when I went to college, and it's part of like a 3-part
Yeah,
series.
that's the one I watched and said I like. Yeah, I saw that one. That was
Yeah.
dope.
And so like yeah, like so I went to film school, right? Because it's like I actually work 3 different jobs. It's like I'm a hip hop artist and that's one of my like that's my career that I'm working for. I work for a media company. Shout out They Media and Jason Spun and Tony McGuire. They're the goats and they film like, you know what I mean? Like perfect. And then I also work with Nietzsche Studios and I assist them basically with like facilitating like youth programming and stuff like that. And they're an amazing organization as well.
Yeah, that definitely need things for the youth, especially people that are indigenous, man.
Yeah. And so like my big thing is like, I've always made music, but I've also like done like youth, like work with youth and stuff like that. So it's like when I'm like sitting there, like showing my music and stuff like that, I don't want to be showing them stuff that's not like, you know what I mean, appropriate for like someone who's like 10, 13 or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, like I would rather show them something with a positive message and stuff like that. And then they're like, this is you? I'm like, yeah, this is me. And they're like, man, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it because like I haven't done all ages shows in a while, but it's like I did the summer festival, the Momaway Summer Festival and I brought out like Shellac, Cruzo, young Shellac, Cruzo, Chupenko, and then like a couple other people came out just like, you know what I mean? Like family and support and stuff like that. And like there ended up being a bunch of people that I either knew distantly or there was people that I was actually close with that like just came out and supported. There was youth that I'd never met before. And like I was with a pretty big crowd and there was one youth in particular who like as soon as I stepped away from like the group I was with, he ran up to me and he was like, hey man, are you B the Wiz? I was like, yeah man, what's good? And he's like, man, can I get a picture with you? And like it was at that moment that I realized I was like, man, like I've leveled up over time and it's like I've worked hard to get to this point and I'm beyond grateful to be where I'm at. And
sometimes you don't notice the like elevation until like little moments like that. Like
yeah,
I remember getting similar interactions when I was making music. Well, I'm back to making music, but when I was making music consistently, like a decade or so ago, like I remember being at the festival and like the same thing happened to me with someone else, and I was like, yeah, it's crazy when you don't realize the impact you're making sometimes.
yeah, and it's like
Better
like,
than money a lot of the times, man. I mean, money would be nice, but like a lot of the times, like
I mean,
knowing you
and
had an impact on just a single person is like important.
I was gonna say, man, like it's like making the connections with people, having those like friendships form and those bonds form through hip hop is beautiful to me.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to make like consider that one of my career paths and stuff like that because I'm actually like this year, like to be fair, man, this year and it's not saying much because I didn't earn much for the first 9 years of my work, but for the first 9 years of doing music, I made less money than I have this year. And that to me is such a major personal flex that like I'm not rich or anything like that. You know what I mean? My basement studio doesn't even have floors. And I make that joke to everybody, you know what I mean? Because like people show me their studio. I'm like, yo man, that's nice. I'm like, you got floors and shit.
Yeah.
But like it's like, man, I've got so much love for this that like I don't see myself ever stopping doing it. You know what I mean? Because it just helps me feel way better as a person when I'm able to write down what I'm going through, write down my experiences and what I'm feeling. And yeah, man, I was gonna say Akshay was he was in the film program with me and we graduated together. He was like the main DOP for that. And shout out to Akshay because he absolutely killed that, man. The conflict film program, we got to make so many different projects and I got 2 music videos when I was in school. So like I went in there to make music videos and learn how to shoot and stuff like that. And I learned so much more and now I'm working for a media company. So like it's weird, man, because it's like everything's fallen into place like because I've taken the time to kind of like work towards the things that I want. And it's like I just work towards making sure that the life that I live, I'm going to be able to be happy, you know?
Definitely. So, for your next project, do you have anything planned for it that you could talk about now?
Yeah, man. So I've got everything ready. So Humility Over Everything is my newest project that I'm working on right now.
Right.
I've got the track. I'm not going to say the track order yet, but we've got Wake Up on there. I've got In My Head on there. And so like everyone who's been to these shows that we do and stuff like that, they know. I've got Meditation on there, and Meditation was actually played on CBC when I did Spin the Black Circle with Sarah Kay. I think I've got a Passion, which is it's a lot more of a storytelling song as well. And then there's one more song I think, but I'm blanking on it. But yeah, the whole, like, it's a short project, but I love it because Jaw did amazing on it. And he produced every song. Wake Up is more of, like, my friend Oro is in the chat right now. He loves Wake Up because, like, he's like sitting there, he's like, yeah, man, my son sings it all the time. And he's like, when are you dropping it? I'm like, man, like, soon. Because, like, all my music's on my Google Drive. It's just like, for the past month and a half, I've been trying to, like, get my projects onto, like, digital service providers. And as I've been trying to get them on there, I've been encountering issues where it's like your project got rejected because blank. And a lot of the times it was like I was trying to give too much credit to my producer.
Oh, okay.
So I put like B the Wiz, ZZZ, and then it's just like produced by Jaw. And then they're like, you can't put produced by. And I'm like, man, like, I'm like, really? Like,
They make it difficult. They're not in the hook for anything that goes wrong.
yeah, it's like I want to give my homies as much shine as I get because it's
like I'm trying to get like one of your tracks for like the real. I'm like, bro, I'm looking I'm typing your name like any different. Finally, I found the track that I had heard before, that DMT Escapade. So I'm like, yes, I love that hook. So I was like, word. Okay, so I put it down there. I was like, sick. That the singer or the artist that you work with on there, tell them I want to interview them.
Yeah, Goldie.
Yeah.
Goldie's awesome, man. And shout out Goldie Goddess. She's the other MC on that project with me, and then Nero is also on that project.
Yeah.
So me and Goldie are actually working on a Grand Rising Part 2 right now, and that's like, she's actually going to be getting her bars laid down in the studio like real soon. So I'm excited to have that, and then be able to have that as a release, because it's like I like working with other artists. I think that's a great experience, and I think there's so much like growth and potential and like just beauty and collaboration.
And a lot of the artists that, because you're indigenous yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm Mohawk from Ganawage, but well, I'm born and raised in Thunder Bay, but my family's from Ganawage.
Yeah, we had that conversation.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. That's true. And people, please say it right.
Yeah.
You know,
hit it with the G.
I'm with you on my guy Willie Scandals, man. He gets sick and tired of motherfuckers pronouncing that shit Kanawaki.
Bro, and that's the thing. I was disconnected before, and I brought it up, and I was saying it before, and I was saying it incorrectly. And then I had from someone from Tyendinaga, shout out Storm. They were just like, yeah, like, it's actually pronounced Ganawage, and with a G, or like pronounced like a G. And I was like, thank you. I was like, because I didn't know that. I haven't been to my home community. I want to go, but I haven't been there yet. And there's a lot of people that are super supportive down there too, like Willie Scandals. Like, man, yeah.
He's on for the indigenous 100%, man. 100%.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is I see that, like, obviously there's a purpose in why you choose a lot of the artists you work with to be indigenous, because you're trying to, well, all of the indigenous artists are working towards the same goal of like everything land back, and like that's the of main importance, and as it should be. So like I see a lot of like the artists you work with, a lot of them are indigenous, right?
Yeah, that's not something that's like, it's not something that's exclusive or expected. Like, I work with but I definitely work with like a lot of indigenous artists, and I definitely like, it's just honestly, man, like I really just like, I love to work, and the people that reach out to me, like, our city does have a large indigenous demographic, you know what I mean? And like, it's like a lot of indigenous community, it's an indigenous community. It's a lot of Finnish people, a lot of Italians, and like, it's just like, it's
I know to be a very indigenous area. Like, I've had a lot of friends out that way.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of passed because of some things out there. Just a lot of hate out there as well. As much as there's as much hate out there as there is indigenous people, and it shouldn't be.
I know, man. It's not fair, man. And
it's not just in Thunder Bay. We see it everywhere. Like, it's just, it's not a topic we'll get into on this conversation. We'll get into it on the actual podcast maybe. Mm-hmm. But like, definitely like how Willie puts it at the forefront of everything he does, and like Dakota Bear, the same thing. Matamak.
Yeah.
just performing with Mac? Well, when he
At Mac, yeah, man. I was at the annual Nan Youth Gathering, Nan annual youth gathering.
Yeah.
And so shout out to Savannah and Nan for having me on that. They reached out to me and they were like, do you know artists that we could reach out to? So I recommended a couple of names, and sure enough, like some of the names that I recommended were there. So I was really happy because it's like, so like Sarah Kay, the person who did the Spin the Black Circle with me, I ended up seeing them and they were performing there. And every time I see Sarah at a performance, I always go up to Sarah and I'm like, Sarah Kay and B the Wiz at the same event? What is this, a crossover episode? And like, I just think it's funny because like the whole BoJack Horseman thing is just like, yeah, it hits, you know? And yeah, but like they're nothing but amazing, and their band, like, you know what I mean? Like I love to shout them out and stuff like that. I think that whole performance, being able to open and see Mac perform, there's like a lot of other artists that were there as well. I got to reconnect with Sean, like the native pool boy, and he's super awesome as well. He's actually going to Ganawage for the the Indigenous Cannabis Cup, and I love that for him so much because I reached out to him when I was applying and I was trying to get in there, and I was like, and the thing is, like, I know I haven't dropped in a long time, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'm like, man, like I do need to sorely drop. And during COVID,
I gotta bring up the real shit.
Yeah, man, exactly. And it's like, so during COVID, I was doing Wiz Wednesdays, and that was like a music video every 2 weeks. And it was like I was doing them all myself. I was writing as I was working through everything, and it was something that a lot, like, it's funny because my boss now, he's seen me doing Wiz Wednesdays and he's seen the production quality, and he's just like, man, what are you doing? Like, you went to film school, you could do so much better than this. And I started laughing. I'm like, man, like, I know. I was like, honestly, I'm doing everything myself. I don't have like a lot of people that I'm working with and stuff like that.
Podcast is so much work, and I'm like, fuck, yeah. I wish I had
Dude, facts. And that's what it is, man, is it's like there's so much work that goes in behind the scenes to everything that, like, if you're not careful with your level of personal expectation, you can burn yourself out. And it's like, I have a thing where I'm super, like, I keep myself busy, and as a result, like, I haven't been dropping music because, like, I haven't been ready to put stuff out yet, and I haven't been at that point where, like, I've made a lot of music. We've got a lot of music together. I was just looking at tracking like all my releases and stuff like that, and I've got like 5 music videos. I've got like probably like 7 or 8 drops, one being an EP within itself, so that's like 12 songs. And I'm looking at when I start to drop, I want to consistently start dropping so that I can kind of amass momentum, and then I can keep creating in the meantime as I'm like amassing all these songs and videos, you know?
Word. So I know you said you wanted to maybe bring in your producer for a couple minutes, so if you want, you can send a request to jump in if he's still in the chat.
Yeah, Ducktail, you still in here?
Still here, send a request, you can jump in. We're in a couple minutes, and I got to cut. I've been doing interviews all day long, so I'm tired.
Bless, man. I was gonna say.
Anytime when you're about to drop something new, make sure you let me know. You could do it exclusively on here if you want. You're welcome on the show anytime, bro.
Yeah.
You're part of On the Line with Family now. It's official.
Hey, bro, bless. I'm glad to be here, man. I'm happy to work with you, and I can't wait for the future because, like,
we'll work on some music together too, I'm sure.
Facts, man. Facts. I was gonna say, like, working with producers and connecting each other. What's good, Ricky?
Yo, what's up, guys?
My guy.
How we doing?
Beats.
So yeah, we met in like 2014, I think, or 2016, something like that.
2015? No, because
2015. Yeah, first show was 20.
We were probably 13 years old, man. That was like
a
long time.
It was a fucking hot minute ago, man. But like, I love it. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Just been kind of staying busy, working on some music. And how'd that Kenora show go?
Oh, bro, it was like at least 2:30 in there. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I realized, man, it was the night after St. Patty's Day. So like when I was doing crowd work with people, I was like talking to them, and I was like, yo, yo, like, can we get some people to come to the front? I got some giveaways and stuff like that I want to give away. And then it was like a couple people came up. I gave away a bunch of stuff. I was like, yo, are you guys just hungover right now? Because St. Patrick's Day was last night. And a bunch of people just started cheering. And I was like, all right, it's all good. Me too. I was here drinking last night, and then everyone cheered again. Like, I was like, fucking, all right, let's run that next one. So, yeah, it was a good show. It was nice. And the people that were there were having a good time. You know what I mean? Like, I ended up getting a photo with someone, and they gave me a lei. I was just like, man, like, I love to see it.
Sick, man.
You have beats on his upcoming projects?
No, the next one.
The one following it.
The one following it, yeah.
There we go.
This project is 100% Jaw the Prophet. I have a song with Ducktail Beats already. It's mixed and mastered. I can include that in the drops, actually. Want to see? Because, like, yeah, I haven't, like, I wanted to do a video for that one because, like, I wanted to get some, like, limo shots, I'm thinking, and try to get some penthouse shots because I'm going to be going up to Las Vegas in April. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention that. I'm going to Las Vegas in April.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, man.
Out there are you going out there for, like, a performance? Or are you performing at one of the big festivals?
He's performing at a roulette table.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going out there for Res Summit. So it's like an indigenous conference.
Nice.
And so I'm going to be down there for a little bit. And but the thing about my work, oh, sorry.
Those conferences are fucking lit.
Oh yeah, bro, they're fucking awesome. I love going to conferences.
You know what? Said how bad I wanted to go to one of those conferences or like a powwow or something, man. Like every time I'm supposed to go, I always end up fucking not being able to go. And I'm like, damn it looks so fucking lit.
I was gonna say, man, yeah. Oh, yo, check out that sign in the background there. Ducktail Beats, baby. That is
the
we
neon
would love
sign.
to see that. We
Looking real porny in there.
we absolutely love to see it. That neon purple.
Okay,
light,
dude.
Looking pretty porny.
Yeah. But so yeah, no, we're going down for Res Summit, and when I'm down there for like film and stuff like that, I look on resources like PeerSpace, and holy fuck, look at me, PeerSpace, get me to do an ad for you. So I go on PeerSpace and I look for like studio spaces that I could rent out, and then I basically book some studio space time, and then we go there and we, you know what I mean, talk to the studio people, book out a couple hours, and shoot some music video content for myself. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like I'm going to like places, and it's like I'm maybe sleeping like a total of like 4 hours a night, because it's like I'm trying to like fit so much different things. Like I'm going for work, and then it's like I'm taking my other job, and I'm like, yo, like, you guys want to film some stuff for me real quick?
Oh, definitely. You gotta take when you get it, man. Like,
absolutely, bro. Especially when I'm from Thunder Bay here, because it's like I love my city, but it's also like there's very specific scenery that everybody knows, and that, like, you know what I mean? It's like I'd rather just use scenery from other places, because it's like just adds a little bit of magic that people don't expect, right?
A little more depth, and if it resonates with you more, then why not?
Right? Yeah. Like, if I'm going to Las Vegas, why don't I get some, like, you know what I mean, shots of all the lights, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah.
So when it comes down to your beats and his music, how do you feel like about it? Is it like an organic, like, creative type?
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel like I don't really make trap beats, and I think a lot of people are just looking for fucking trap music and drill music, and that's like the shit that's really hot right now. And I never really mastered that sound. I've always just kind of had my own kind of sound. I guess, like, I've just kind of worked on the shit that I like. I make how I like to sound, and Wiz fucking likes how it sounds, and I like how fucking Wiz sounds on it. So yeah, it's been fun so far. I think we only have 2 tracks in the vault.
Yeah, we got 2 of them.
Yeah.
And man, that one, like, I just want to kick back. Like, that one, Wake Up, bro. That's the thing. Yeah. I have 2 tracks named Wake Up right now, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I gotta rename Wake Up. But
what's that?
Yeah, no.
Just make one a part 2.
Yeah, Wake Up Part 1, Wake Up Part 2. I love it.
It's called the next one Woke Up.
Woke Up.
And then after that, it's back to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, man. I think. Oh, sorry. What was that,
No,
Jacob?
I was just gonna
Or Jordan?
talk to your boy. I was gonna say if you ever want to do an interview and talk about your beats and how you perceive them and stuff, because I know there's a lot of artists on here who are always looking for beats when I speak to them. So
For sure, man.
definitely you. I was only able to bring you on a couple minutes because usually I try to keep them one-on-one for the most part.
No,
And I told
that, yeah.
I'll bring them in. But I know you got a few more things you want to say. I'll let you say that just before we head out, bro. I'm just gonna do the outro before I take off. So thanks to my man B the Wiz for coming on, being episode 60 on our road to 100. Hope to hit it by midsummer. Hopefully have Ducktail Beats. Maybe he'll be the one upcoming soon. Everybody check out Be the Wiz on streaming platforms when they finally let them. They're being assholes. But in the meantime, you can find a lot of his stuff he spoke about on his YouTube, like the Retribution series that he has, which I found first, and that was dope. And yeah, so if you want to spill any links, man, like, oh yeah, by the way, it's your man Hanley from On the Line With. And yeah, so if any links either you want to let people know to check out, by all means, go ahead. And bro, if you have a link to your beats, send me a DM and let me check them out because I wouldn't mind checking out some beats.
Yeah, cool. I have a few things on my SoundCloud, which is in my description, but not really the stuff I've been working on. It's pretty old shit. And like some of my more like house music and whatever, I'm just, miscellaneous stuff. But
Bro, it's all fine.
yeah, for sure.
Don't lie.
Oh no, it's like kind of older shit. I don't know, but yeah.
And any links you want to drop, B?
Yeah, for sure. So Be the Wizard on Instagram, Be the Wiz on Facebook. I've got stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, all the major streaming platforms. It's just B space the space Wiz. Yeah, I think if you fuck with me and you like what I do and you want to collaborate, reach out to me. You know what I mean? If you fuck with what I do, follow me and support because I got a lot more coming and I haven't dropped in 2 years and that's my fucking bad.
But yeah, so I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's been it took a little long to get this one connected, but I'm glad that we got to it. So again, we got Be the Wiz tonight for episode 60, a little feature from his homie and producer Ducktail Beats. I'm your man Hanley from On the Line With. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not following me, please give me a follow. If you need an interview, hit me up. No problem. Hit Be the Wiz, check his music. Hit Ducktail Beats, ask him about beats. And other than that, we out. Thanks for having me. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Brody.
Thanks for having us, man.
Take care.